Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on changing your path in your professional life. This is a program presented by the Southwest District Alumni Association of Tau Beta Sigma and Kappa Kappa Psi as part of a series of programs focusing on professional development for alumni at all stages in their lives and careers. My name is Katie Langley. I am a life member of the Psi Chapter of Tau Beta Sigma at the University of Arkansas, go Hogs, and I am an honorary member of the Southwest District of Kappa Kappa Psi. I currently live and work in Chicago, which is a wonderful city, and I'm excited to begin work this fall as a chapter visitation assistant for the North Central District of Tau Beta Sigma. So, as I said, I live and work in Chicago. I actually work for a Fortune 500 company, very corporate America, and it is not the path that I thought I would be on. So, in fact, I actually moved to Chicago to get a master's in social science from the University of Chicago. When I walked into this program, the head of the entire program announced to all of us that most of you are here to get your master's and then go on and get a PhD. Of those of you that is your path right now, over half of you are going to change your mind. And he was right. Myself and many of my close friends ended up on very different paths. But ultimately, what he said after that was that we have a lot of programs available to assist you in this path change. So a lot of career development things were available to our program specifically. And I took advantage of every single one. I attended workshops and webinars on networking and resume building. I did one-on-one counseling, informational interviews with local things in Chicago connected to our university. And I really took in all that information. And ultimately, it is how I ended up where I am today, which is wonderful, a job I very much love. So I wanted to pass along some of that knowledge from that program, as well as just from living as a professional here in the city. I wanted to pass on that information to you specifically about changing your path. So let's get started. For an introduction, the best place to get started, if you're thinking about making a big change, is getting to know you and yourself. First of all, please know that it is okay to change your path. Nearly 80% of workers in their 20s said they wanted to change careers, and some other studies have shown that an average of 5 to 15 job or career changes will happen over a lifetime. I was putting this together speaking from anecdotes and what I knew from my friends, but the numbers really back this up. This is normal. It is okay. If you've decided to make a big change, remove the stigma. Don't be afraid. It's all right. So as I said, we're getting started with getting to know yourself. It's important to start asking those tough questions, figuring out what you as an individual and a professional really want out of your career. So I definitely encourage you to start big. What do you enjoy doing? What do you hate doing? What do you dislike? Specifically, get down into what skills you enjoy utilizing every day. Do you enjoy getting analytical every day? Do you enjoy being creative every day? Really get specific with these answers. So what do I mean when I say getting specific? It's really important to give honest answers. Avoid that buzzword trap. It may sound great to say, you know what, I'm a team player. Are you? Or did you hate all those group projects? Do you actually prefer working on your own? That's okay. It is okay to really get down into what you really enjoy and what you really are good at. Don't just say, I am a leader, I am creative, because that sounds good. That's not really you, and that's how you end up in a career where you're actually unhappy. It's also important for some of our young alumni to remember to avoid the good student trap. Just because you enjoy studying a field does not always mean you're going to enjoy a career in that field. Oftentimes, they're not always a good match for each other, so it's really important to keep that in mind when you're asking these tough questions of yourself. So we've talked about getting to know you. Now let's talk about getting to know the career, the job, the thing. First off, do your research. Get to know the jobs you're interested in and the career fields you are interested in. So I recommend starting with some reputable sources and publications. You have the internet. It is very helpful. Just start looking around. You can find some very helpful things. Some other places you might think to look are, obviously, there are blogs specifically focused in career fields. There are also magazines for certain areas, and LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a really great place to start. By the way, you should update your LinkedIn profile. But LinkedIn is really great for finding influencers. CEOs of companies often write and publish things on LinkedIn. These are really great things to really get a feel for the career field you might be interested in. And the next step is to really start using your network. So I cannot emphasize this enough that sending a blind resume does not work. Every single job I have ever had including the one I currently have, has been a result of a connection. Sometimes the connections from previous jobs, etc. But making human connections is how you get information, and it is how you get involved in certain careers. This is very important. And obviously, you have a place to start. University and alumni groups, these are great networks to really utilize. You might think, oh, I don't know anybody. I actually had that same feeling because I moved to Chicago and I didn't know anybody. But through these organizations, you know somebody who knows somebody. Ask around. People are usually willing to help if you just want to talk and get information and learn about something. And a good way to do that, a good tool to have in your arsenal, is the informational interview. Now, what is that? It's not an interview in the typical sense of interviewing to get a job, but it is getting to know a person and a professional in this career field you're interested in. So reaching out, ask for an informational interview. This is common terminology. If you email someone and say, I am interested in conducting an informational interview with you, they are going to know what you are talking about. But this is an opportunity for you to ask these questions. How did you get started in this path? What made you want to go into this career path? What are your daily challenges in this job? What does an average day in your job look like? What advice do you have for someone getting started? So you're about to hire someone in this field. What are things you look for in an applicant? This is such a great opportunity. And it's usually also a great place to make a connection. This may not be a person this is likely a person who is not going to hire you, but they may know somebody who's looking for someone just like you. It can happen. This is such a great tool. It is a little scary, but it is incredibly helpful. I use this a lot. I know a lot of people who have used this. I really recommend it. So let's say you really have gotten to know yourself. You know the career you're interested in, the path you're interested in going down. So how do I get there? How do I make this work for me? So I'm going to talk a little bit about transferable skills. Now, what is that? Technical knowledge versus transferable skills. It's exactly what it sounds like. Technical knowledge is, I am proficient in Microsoft Word. I know how to use these systems. Transferable skills are those buzzwords we talked about. Are you a team player? Are you a leader? Are you creative? What are these skills you have that can transfer across any career? Hence the name. I always think back to a quote from one of my shop teachers in tech theater in college. And he said to all of us, I can teach you the technical skills necessary to work in my shop. I cannot teach you how to be the kind of person I want to work with. It's really important to be the kind of person that people want to work with. And again, you already have these. You've probably gained a lot of them if you're a young alumni right out of college and this is your experience. TBS and KK Psi are the place where you got these skills. And so it's important here to be specific in how you gained those skills, how you demonstrated those skills. So to say, I'm a leader, that's not enough. Did you serve as an officer, a section leader? What did you do in that position? Did you serve on a committee? What are the specific instances where you demonstrated and utilized those transferable skills? This is going to get really important when we have to talk the talk. Yes, we're going to talk about resumes. Of course, we're going to talk about resumes. But also remember that resumes are not just pieces of paper you hand to someone. They are your talking points when you are networking with people, when you are interviewing. These are the things that help you describe who you are and what you do and why you are a good candidate. It's really important to remember here that official job titles don't matter. In fact, most people have no idea what you do based on your job title. This stays true forever. So it's really important to be able to describe what you do and what you've done. I really recommend using action verbs like communicate, manage, I coordinated, I initiated this project, I managed this project. These are the things that I did. It's also important to point to the specific outcomes of your work. So for example, if you managed a fundraiser, cool, you managed a fundraiser. No, I coordinated with a group of 10 people to organize this fundraiser. It was specifically an event and we raised $1,000. Wow, look at that outcome. If you conducted a fundraiser, but it wasn't successful, probably shouldn't be talking about that in your interview to work in professional fundraising. So this is just an intro, of course, into resumes, etc. That could be an entirely separate topic on how to customize your resume for specific things, but this is more just some general information on your talking points. And so to give you an example of what I mean, because examples always help, which sounds better? We have option 1, served as Vice President of Membership for Southwest District of Tau Beta Sigma. We probably all know what that means, but outside of Tau Beta Sigma and Kappa Kappa Psi, most people have no idea. This is, again, my personal example, obviously. But here's option 2. Here's some actual bullet points from previous resumes I've used. Coordinated with 37 chapters across 5 states to manage membership, policies, and activities. Organized and managed chapter leadership conferences for approximately 200 student leaders. That's pointing to a result right there. Coordinated with, you see the list of the different groups I've coordinated with. Again, that's just what I did. And doesn't that sound so much better? Again, it's important to point to what you did, use those action verbs, and really, really be proud of the work you've done and really demonstrate those wonderful outcomes. These are just some examples for how to talk about this on your resume, but also how to talk about it when networking and when interviewing. These tips will always be beneficial to you in that realm. So this has just been a quick introduction to the challenges, struggles, and questions you should be asking when you're considering changing your path professionally. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to reach out to me at the email you see on the screen. I'm happy to talk with you, happy to point you in the direction of some resources if that's what you're interested in. It's been great speaking with you today. Thank you so much, and hope you have a great day.